Okay, I'll carry on with this now. Okay, so anyway, from from my understanding, a lot of people who end up with tube amps that don't work, or the tube amps stop working, from my kind of experience, I think a lot of people will just go out and buy new tubes because it's the easiest thing to replace. You basically, you can take them out carefully, and you can order new ones off the net, or you can buy them and replace them. But I think tubes are actually pretty reliable. These tubes that have been in audio equipment for a very long time, that have lasted, I don't know, since way back when. And so I don't think it's always the right move just to assume that it's the tubes, because it is something you can fix. There are sites on the internet that you can search about diagnosing valve amp symptoms, and that's actually quite useful to first work out what you think's wrong with the amp, rather than just assuming it's the one thing you can fix. Okay, that's just me. I'm just talking from experience and stuff. Basically, it's better to have a bit of a fair idea of what's wrong with it and stuff. So anyway, what I'm kind of saying is you don't just want to go out and replace the tubes for no reason. Okay. Anyhow, I should explain that different tubes, they play different parts. Like, not all of them are for amplification. They have other uses as well. Anyway, I won't go into that. If you want to research that further, you can. Okay, what I'm going to say, like some of the basic components you have in a tube amp is you have resistors, which are the colourful stripy things. They're resistors. You've got capacitors as well, which act as kind of filters for your tone, and they might remove some high end or low end. There's a few different kinds of capacitors. You've got ones that are like filters. I do want to say something very important first, okay? When working on these amps, these are electrolytic capacitors. They hold enough power to stop your heart. They can store enough power. If you were to basically be electrocuted by them, they could stop your heart and kill you. So you want to be very careful when working on these things, or if you don't feel confident about working on these, you can get someone else to do it. Quite often what I'll do is I'll put the plug in the wall, and I'll make sure it's earthed, and I'll turn the powers on and I'll turn it up, but I'll make sure the plug's turned off at the wall, and I'll try and just drain out some of the power so it's not stored inside. That is not the proper way to do it. You should not follow my advice at all on that. That's just a way that I think probably works. What you should do before working on these is do some research on, it's called draining the caps. These are called caps, are short for capacitors. You want to drain the caps so they don't hold any charge, so they can't electrocute you and they can't stop your heart. Okay? These capacitors have a lifespan. They are wearing parts. A lot of problems. The passive ones aren't so bad. The ones that don't have power running through them are not so bad. Oh, sorry, I won't say that don't have power running through them. The ones that aren't electrolytic caps, like these, they tend to last longer. These ones here, which are electrolytic, which have a definite positive and negative, they do store power, okay? They store power, and they wear out after hours and hours. And looking at these have been around since the ant was built, so I can assume that they need replacing. So that's what leads me to believe that this is the fault of the problem, okay? So I'm going to go through and replace all of these. These store power, so these help store power, so when the speakers needs power, like when you suddenly hit the guitar, then and it needs power, these have the power there already for your speakers. And if these aren't holding the power like they used to, then that power is not going to be there for your speakers, okay? That's one of the purposes they serve. Another purpose they serve is removing noise from the electricity lines and stuff. You can get quite bad because of the kind of amp it is. If the noise isn't removed, it can stuff up your whole sound, and you will not hear your guitar properly and stuff. So that's two of the reasons they're there. So we're going to replace them. You might see on here, you might think, where the hell am I going to get these from? I mean, they've got some weird writing on them, and it's like, I don't see these in any shops anymore. Well, you can actually get replacements if you look on the internet, but you need to know their values and stuff, okay? And you'll find that the values are written on them. What I'll do is I'll quickly show you. I'll show you underneath the amp. When you flip an amp over, make sure you're not going to crush anything. Okay. Under here you can see they're pretty basic. They're basically I shouldn't be touching them. I haven't drained them. That was dumb. Okay, I could have got electrocuted then. That was bad. Okay, you never do that. Okay. Okay, under here you can see the wiring. See that holds a lot of current. You can see how strong those wires there are. A lot of power goes through that. Anyhow, so there it pretty much shows you, and it's usually marked on it which is positive and which is negative, because that's the important part to get right when you replace them. Okay. And so anyway, some of them have 3 different ones. Okay. And that basically means they're pretty much operating as 3 different capacitors in the one thing, like these ones you'll find here are. Okay. I could have got electrocuted then. That was really lucky. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you close up now.